wanna be on top. Wanna be on top. It's time to make it happen. You know that we don't stop. It's gotta be on top. Wanna be on top. Wanna be on top. Wanna be on top.
Hey guys, it's Ariel, and today is going to be week 2 of American Girls Next Doll Model, and this week's theme was Modern Disney Princess. So I have a guest judge this week. I'm so excited to announce it is Small Dolls Teddy.
Hi, my name is Teddy and I have a YouTube channel called Small Dolls SM0LDOLLS. Today I'm going to be guest judging some photos.
And after I share my opinion, she's going to share her opinion, and we came to a decision on who to eliminate and all the stuff like that.
So, let's get into it.
So here's the first photo from Maddie Sage, and she was Moana. Overall, this photo is very nicely composed, I think, and it could have been a little bit lighter on the actual doll because, like Teddy's going to say, it is very backlit, and that means basically the background is much lighter than the subject is, which is not ideal for like portrait photography and stuff like that. So if your actual doll was brighter, then it would be perfect. I love the outfit. You can definitely tell it's Moana, and the ocean in the background is just...
So our first photo here is Sage as Moana, and I really like this photo. I like the color scheme and the composition. And where did you get that flower crown, sweetie? That's such a nice flower crown. Like that, where did you get? I want to buy one. Okay, side note. Now then, what I would say is she's super backlit. Like the background is white and then the doll is super dark. So I don't know what editing software you use. I use Lightroom, so I'll use it as an example. You could have masked her and then turned the shadows up a lot, and it would have, like, it looks off. I don't know. It's good. It's a good photo.
The next photo is Riley as Tiana, and I love this. It looks like a real restaurant, and I love like the detail of the menu and like the little sign in the back where the customer's sitting. Speaking of the customer, you don't focus on the customer, you focus on Riley only, which is a good thing because if she's the model, you want her to be focused on. So also, like Teddy is going to say, there could have been a little fade to the side since there's a little bit of like blank space on the left side of the picture, but yeah, and the plant was a very nice touch. I love it, and overall very nice.
Our next photo is Riley as Tiana, and this is such a cute photo, like genuinely though. Love this doll. A very, very cute custom. Out of focus things that are in front of the scene adds like a lot of visual interest, and it adds like some depth to the image. What I would have said though is add a lot more contrast, because the image looks a little like desaturated, so like turn up the vibrance and the contrast. And what I like to do is towards the edges, like away from the doll, so like up in the corner of the image in that wall, I would have faded it to a darker color so that it like added more focus to the scene.
The next photo was Adeline as Tiana. This is honestly amazing. The fact that you went to Disney for the day just to take this is mind-blowing. Thank you for caring so much about my competition. But I love this. The petals were such a nice touch, and it really makes it feel like really magical and stuff. I think that the saturation could have maybe gone up just a tad because it's a little bit desaturated. I know it's great word use by me. But yeah, other than that, I love this picture, and the LPS on her shoulder is so cute.
Alright, our next photo is Adeline as Tiana, and I love this photo so much. I love like these pink leaves. I don't know if they're edited in or something, girl, but yes, like that's so cute. I think you took it at Disneyland, and that's incredible. Like, yes, queen, you take those photos at Disneyland. And it's so cool how you got her to like hold the tray and like she has a little lizard on her shoulder. It's so creative and cute, and I love this one. This is probably one of my favorites. She's a little off-centered, so you could have centered her a bit more just because it looks a little off, and straightened the image because, I don't know if you can tell, but the castle, just because of the way you held the camera, it was slightly off, so the castle looks a little tilted. And if you had straightened it, it would have just made the image look a lot more better. I don't know how to speak English.
The next photo is Harmony as Belle. I think the outfit is super cute, and I think you mentioned that you made all the pieces. The rose is a very nice touch, but I do think that the background could have been more interesting. It doesn't really scream Beauty and the Beast to me, or anything to like part of her movie besides the rose. Just because it was just kind of a picture of her, and then the background was just kind of leaves, which is not a bad thing, but it could have been a tiny bit more visually interesting.
All right, our next photo is Harmony as Belle. Love this photo very, 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 very much. What I would have said to do is here I would have liked to see a little more focus like drawn to the doll, because there's not a lot of visual interest going on in the photo. It's kind of just a portrait, and that's fine a lot of the times, but this is just my opinion. I think you should have like faded it to a darker color as you got like away from the doll, again just to put a little more focus on the doll, and turned up the vibrance for sure. And then also, this is something I haven't really said to anyone, but like it's just like a quick little thing to add a lot of visual interest. It's cute, and Heart actually has a tutorial for this on her channel and it's brightening the doll's eyes, and it just makes them look a lot more lifelike and really cool.
The next photo is Lucia as Pocahontas. The outfit is suiting, and it definitely can tell the top and the shorts are like very modern, but still Pocahontas, and the necklace was a good touch as well. And I like that the flower crown matches like the little strand of hair, because it just creates like a little bit of unity. And sorry, the wind is just not loving me today, so Elsa, my hair is a mess. Don't worry about it. I do think that the background could have been a little bit more interesting. Like I've said before, just leaves as the background isn't the ideal scenario, because if you had maybe like a little bit of like the woods in the background or something, it definitely would have screamed Pocahontas to me more than the photo right now does.
Our next photo is, who is this doll? Lucia as Pocahontas. And okay, I love the doll Starbucks, like queen. Love the Starbucks. Again, love the flower crown. It gives it a super naturey vibe. And I love how it's kind of like modern-ish Pocahontas, because there's also like that Starbucks, and she's wearing a crop top and denim shorts, and it's super cute. Like she looks like a little flower child, and that is adorable, sweetie. I would have liked to see more contrast and more vibrance on this image, and again brighten her eyes a bit. The composition, I can't tell you what's wrong with it for some reason. Like I'm not feeling, I just, you could have composed it a bit differently. Does that make sense? And also, great life hack, if you take some leaves off of the plant that you're shooting behind your doll, take some of the leaves off that plant and hold them right up to your lens, and that'll add like a nice little blur, and it's super cute, super nice.
The next photo is Lauren as Elsa. This outfit is super cute. I love the jacket, and I like the simple background. It's very simple, but it works nicely in this case. And the snow, I saw a little bit of snow in her hair. That was a really cute touch, and I like that you're looking at the details of the photo, not just the overall thing, because you know I pay attention to that kind of stuff. I would say maybe bring down the saturation just a little bit, so it's a little bit more wintry, because when it's high saturation you think of warmer colors. So that's just my personal opinion.
Our next photo is Lauren as Elsa, and love this photo so much. The colors are absolutely great. Love the character race bend. Yes, queen, get it. And I love the pose. I really like it when doll photographers pose their dolls, because a lot of times doll photographers will just kind of like take a picture of their doll just like standing there. But when you add a pose, it adds a lot of like movement and like realness to the photo, and it's cool. Yeah, I really like this photo. I say I would have added a bit more brightness to the doll, because it's like the whole photo is super dark, and so if you would brighten the whole doll a bit, it would have made her like stand out from the background a bit more.
Next photo is Ashley's Merida. I love this picture, and the outfit is absolutely perfect. The target and the bow and arrow are very nice details, and I don't know if you made them or not, but like they're really cool. And I love that like the target, although it's in the background, it's still like emphasized due to its color. Muy bien. And I agree with Teddy on what she's about to say.
Our next photo is Ashley as Merida. Okay, here's my thing with this image. A lot of photographers, when they're taking their photos, they'll tilt the camera like this, like tilt it. And it's cute sometimes, but it can also sometimes, like, at least me personally, it'll set me off sometimes. So I would have again said straighten the image so that line in the background where the brown meets the green goes straight across the photo like this. And it'll just make the image look a lot more done and professional. Does that make sense? As for the colors, definitely add more contrast and more vibrance. And yeah, and as I said before, if you took like a leaf from that plant to the background and held it up to the lens, it would have added like an element in like the front, because there's like the front, the middle, and the back. I don't know what the proper names are. I'm not a real photographer, okay? And then like it would have just added more visual interest. And the color scheme is just like, it's like there isn't really a set color scheme. It's just kind of like I would have liked it if you had gone with like a more cool toned. Does that make sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I'm sorry, I'm a mess.
The next picture is Natalie as Belle. I love this picture. It's very nicely focused and it's very crisp. The background is out of focus, but just enough like that you can still tell what it is, like that it's not just a bunch of lines, like you can tell that they're books and that it's like a shelf and she's like at a library or something. I love the rose on her jacket as well. I don't know if it's edited on or not, but it's still super cute. And I also like the little touch of yellow because it's very modern, like it's not just like all yellow, you know what I'm saying.
Next photo is Natalie as Belle, I believe. Love this photo. Yes. Another one of my favorites, and I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that because Paris and I are friends. I was not just saying that Adeline as Tiana was one of my favorites because Andrea's my friend. It's because it genuinely was, okay? I'm not going to be biased here. Love this photo. Really slayed it. I love like how modern it looks, but also as soon as I saw this photo, I knew it was Belle. Love this little library scene. It looks so real. It's like looks so real, and the doll really stands out for me because I can tell you masked her and turned up the brightness on her, and it looks so great. And I love that little jacket. That's an adorable jacket. I think she made it. I'm not sure though because I love that jacket. Yes, slayed. Ah! I love the colors in this photo. Also the composition is great. Like you definitely use that rule of thirds because this photo is great. Okay, it's great. My critique for this photo, what I would have changed is more vibrance, like more saturation. And honestly, that's it. I really like that photo.
Next is Juniper as Ariel, and I love the colors. Like I can tell that the top was supposed to be purple and the bottoms were like blue for like her shells and her tail. However, it doesn't scream Ariel to me. Like if I just looked at the picture, I would just think your doll was wearing that outfit. I wouldn't think that it's modern Ariel. I think you could have done a little bit more of an interesting background because it's just kind of like a portrait of her. Like it's not like she's in the sea or like by water on the beach or sand or something. It's just like she's on land, which is not where most of her story takes place. So I think it would have been a little bit cooler if you had a different background.
Okay. Our next photo is Juniper as Ariel. And this photo, it's a nice photo, but I feel like you could have incorporated a bit more of Ariel's character into it because it's just kind of a doll in bubbles and it's cute, but like, you feel? Oh girl, my hair. Oh my god. For this photo, I think you should have placed the doll differently so that the sun doesn't hit her face really awkwardly, because you can see there's like that weird shine on the side of her face. And it's not that distracting, but it kind of messes with the photo. And again, the doll looks backlit here, so the background is lighter than her, and that's not cute. So I would have said mask her, turn the brightness up on her, and then turn the brightness down on the background so that she just like stood out from it a bit more. And then definitely add some more saturation to this and brighten her eyes. It would have been cute. And yeah, like I would say straighten the image so that she's standing straight, but here I think it actually adds to the picture that like it's at a slight angle. It's kind of cute.
Next is Arden as Belle. I think this picture is pretty cute. I like the leaves, but the middle one is blocking the doll a teeny bit too much. If it were just like the two and then maybe a little bit of the one in the middle, it would be perfect because it's like framing the doll and everything. Her outfit and her hair is cute. I think that you did a good job recreating like the modern version of her. And I do think that the hair tie that's holding up the book is a little bit too visible. Maybe next time try editing it out, or maybe using a clear hair tie or some like putty that she can hold the book with, just because it's a little bit too obvious.
Alright, and our last photo here is Arden as Belle. First of all, this is such a cute doll. Jess molds with blonde hair are so adorable. Great custom choice. And here you did like one of my absolute fave things, where you put leaves, I don't know if they were there before, but you put them like in front of the lens so that they're like blurred and it kind of frames everything and it looks super, super nice. Love it. Here I would have said, turn down the brightness on the image a bit because it's super, super bright. You should have made it get darker as it gets farther away from the doll. Okay, I'm gonna hold my laptop up to the screen. Up here, I would have said make it get darker as it fades up into the corner. Does that make sense? You're welcome. Yeah, brighten her eyes too, because sometimes like our cameras can't really capture your doll's eyes properly when it's like the picture is taken that far away, so like brighten her eyes up a bit. It'd be cute. So yeah, thank you so much for Heart for letting me co-judge your thing. I'm so sorry this video is so long. She didn't want me to edit it, so hopefully you can edit this down yourself. Alright, bye!
Now that you've heard Teddy and I's opinions, I'm going to be listing the photos from best photo to the bottom two. So, here we go. Best photo goes to Natalie, Adelaide, Ashley, Maddie Sage, Riley, Arden, Lauren, Lucia, and the bottom two are Harmony and Juniper. So both of you, I think, did a great job. Like I said, I think that there were things that could have been changed about both of your photos, and whoever gets eliminated does not mean that your photo is terrible or anything, because I definitely like both of them. But the person who is going to be eliminated today is Juniper. So I'm sorry, Juniper, your photo just didn't scream Disney princess to me. It was a nice picture overall, but in terms of the theme this week, I just didn't really see it. But you did a great job in this competition, and here is a slideshow of Juniper's past photos. To the remaining 9 contestants, the theme for next week is going to be animals. So, this also includes insects and bugs because, you know, I'm open to it. Like if you want to do a bee, a ladybug, a tiger, like get creative with it. I want to see them like maybe in their natural habitat or something. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!